Christian friends, ever wondered why God stays silent? Finding peace and trust in the midst of unanswered prayers. Isaiah 40 verse 31, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, they will run and not grow weary, they will walk and not be faint." Hey everyone, and welcome back to Verve's Devotional. I'm so glad you're here today. We're diving into something that I think a lot of us, especially those on a faith journey, grapple with: the silence of God. That feeling that you're shouting into the void, praying fervently, and yet, nothing. Crickets. It's a tough one, isn't it? It almost feels like a betrayal, a cosmic disconnect. And that's where Isaiah 40 verse 31 comes in, reminding us of the incredible promise of renewal and strength, even, and especially, when we feel utterly depleted and unheard. Think of it like this. The phrase "hope in the Lord" in the Hebrew implies a deep, unwavering trust, a clinging to God even when things feel impossible. It's not a passive hope, but an active trust, a confident expectation of His faithfulness. This isn't just some feel-good verse for when things are going swimmingly, it's a lifeline for those stormy seas of unanswered prayer. I remember a time in my own life, years ago, when I was battling crippling anxiety. I prayed relentlessly, poured my heart out to God, begging for relief, for an end to the torment. And silence. Days bled into weeks, weeks into months, and the silence felt deafening. It felt like God wasn't listening, like my prayers were lost in the cosmic ether. It's a desolate feeling, a profound loneliness that can lead to doubt and even bitterness. I even started questioning whether God even cared, whether I'd been forgotten, abandoned in my suffering. That's the raw truth of it, isn't it? The silence can make you feel utterly alone, isolated, even betrayed. The human experience often parallels the story of Job, wrestling with the whys and the hows of suffering, questioning the very nature of God's goodness in the face of immense pain. But here's the thing about silence: it doesn't necessarily mean absence. Sometimes, the loudest declarations come in the quietest moments. Think about the story of Elijah. He's on Mount Horeb, hiding in a cave, feeling utterly defeated and alone. God doesn't appear in a thundering voice or a spectacular display of power. Instead, He speaks in a gentle whisper. 1 Kings 19 verses 11 to 13. That whisper, that subtle nudge, is often where God's most profound work happens. It's in the quiet spaces that we're often able to hear His voice most clearly, to discern His guidance and His comfort. Remember, faith isn't the absence of doubt, it's trusting God even when you don't understand. It's trusting that His plan, His timing, His ways, are far greater and wiser than our own. And that's where the imagery of soaring eagles in Isaiah 40 verse 31 becomes so powerful. Eagles don't soar on their own strength. They ride the thermals, the unseen currents of air. In the same way, our strength in times of silence, in times of unanswered prayer, comes from relying on God's unseen power, His unwavering presence. It's about trusting that even when you can't feel His hand, He's still holding you. It's about remembering that He sees you, He hears you, even when you feel utterly alone. It's about clinging to the promise that He will renew your strength, that you will find the ability to soar above the challenges, to run the race of faith without growing weary. It's about trusting in His perfect timing, even when that timing seems agonizingly slow. Maybe what feels like silence is actually God's way of strengthening your faith, testing your trust, preparing you for something magnificent. The beauty of Isaiah 40 verse 31 lies in its practicality. It's not a promise of a life without struggles. Instead, it's a promise of strength in the struggles, an assurance that even amidst the uncertainty and pain, God is with you. He equips you with His strength, His peace, and His unwavering love to face every challenge. It's a promise that extends far beyond our own human understanding. It's a hope that isn't dependent on our feelings or circumstances. Think of the countless stories throughout the Bible. Joseph, David, Esther, all faced immense hardships, periods of seemingly deafening silence from God. Yet, through their unwavering faith and trust, they emerged stronger, their stories becoming beacons of hope for generations to come. This verse isn't just about overcoming, it's about enduring, about persevering with renewed strength, a strength that doesn't come from ourselves, but from the source of all strength, our Heavenly Father. So, if you're wrestling with the silence of God right now, I want to encourage you to cling to this promise. Allow yourself to feel the emotions, the doubts, the anxieties, but don't let them consume you. Let this verse be your anchor, your lifeline in the storm. Remember, God's love for you is unconditional, unwavering, and eternal. His silence doesn't negate His presence, it often precedes His greatest work in your life. Remember the story of Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt? God's silence during those 40 years in the wilderness was purposeful. It tested their faith, prepared them for the promised land, and ultimately led to their freedom and a closer relationship with their God. This isn't about ignoring the pain or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about acknowledging it, embracing it, and surrendering it to God. It's about trusting that even in the deepest darkness, His light shines, guiding you towards His perfect plan for your life. It's about finding the quiet strength to keep moving forward, one step at a time, fueled by faith, hope, and His unwavering love. It's about letting go of the need for immediate answers and embracing the mystery of God's timing. The silence, my friends, is not an indication of God's absence, but sometimes it's the prelude to a breakthrough. It's a space for refining, for growth, for deepening your relationship with Him. Trust in the process, trust in His timing, and trust in His unwavering love. Remember, this journey is not a solo expedition. We are all in this together. We're a community, a family united by faith, sharing in the joys and the struggles of this earthly pilgrimage. So lean on the support system around you, share your faith with those who are experiencing similar challenges. Many times, we need to hear a relatable story of how another Christian experienced the apparent silence of God and what they learned from it. We all know the story of the disciples in the storm on the Lake of Galilee. Even the most devout followers face times where they wonder where God is. Remember, your faith and your journey are just as important as anyone else's. Remember, this path is not always smooth. There will be moments of questioning, times when doubt creeps in, but it's in those moments that we rely on the unwavering promise of God's love and His faithfulness. His silence is not an absence, but an invitation to deepen our relationship with Him, to trust Him in the unknown, and to find strength in the quiet moments. This process of trusting in God's timing can be challenging. It's a journey that requires patience, faith, and a willingness to surrender to His will. However, the reward, a deeper, more profound relationship with God, is immeasurable. And so, today, I invite you to reflect on this. Where do you see God working in your life, even amidst the silence? What are you learning during this season? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Let's encourage each other, build each other up, and journey together in faith. Let's create a community of hope, trust, and unwavering faith in God. God bless you all, and I'll see you in the next devotional. Remember, you are loved, you are seen, and you are not alone.